Along with our commitment to covering the story fair and balanced, we also acknowledge that Mente's wife, Dawn, is a very important part of our news team. From the beginning, Dawn has not taken part in our reporting or coverage of this story, and we completely support Dawn during this very difficult time. She's a trusted co-worker and a very good friend.
And that was Fox's Philadelphia affiliate, Fox 29, making a statement during its newscast last night. As many people around the country now know that Dawn Stensland is married to Larry Mendte, and that is, I'm sure, adding to the intrigue of this story. It's a very difficult situation for all involved. She emailed this statement last week about the whole thing. Larry is the best man I know, she says. He's an awesome husband and father. I hope people remember the unprecedented and tireless work Larry has done for broadcasting, charities, and his hometown of Philadelphia over the past 11 years. I love and support my man. End quote. We obviously know where Dawn stands. Now we'd like to hear from you. If you are on the telephone line, please be patient. A lot of people want to tell us what they think. We're going to take as many calls as we can in this, our interactive segment of our show. It's brought to us by Comcast Digital Voice. Our first caller is Gail. Gail, how are you?
I'm fine, Lynn. How are you?
Good, thank you. We're going to take a lot of quick calls in succession here, so tell me what you think about this whole thing.
Well, obviously, for obvious reasons, I think he's just obsessed with her. I mean, his job was that he wanted her fired and off the station. That was accomplished on January 1st when they fired her. Why did he continue to look in her emails late in the evening, at work, at the Union Club? I mean, it just seems to me that he was just obsessed with following her every move.
So what do you think should happen to him now?
I actually think that I think he deserves to serve some kind of jail time.
Right.
I mean, he has to set a precedent. He can't just go into coworkers' emails anytime he feels like it, morning, noon, night, lunchtime, and not get reprimanded for it in any way. I mean, I know he was fired, but legally, he has to be served some type of sentence.
Okay, Gail, thanks very much for your opinion. We appreciate it. If you agree with Gail and you want to give us a call, telephone lines are open. Put us on speed dial. You'll get in a little maybe quicker. Our next caller is John. John, good to have you here.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
My question is, should Daily News reporter Dan Gross, who took the illegal information from Larry Mendte, be investigated by the FBI, but certainly by his superiors?
Well, he in no way was involved in it. He was not interrogated by investigators.
Yeah, it's a shield law, right?
Did
and you don't have to give up your sources.
Deny who his source was, and did not know that anything was illegally obtained.
Right, and I think the federal government made the right call in not going after the whoever the reporter was. We have no idea who it was, and the federal government should protect the First Amendment rights in the press because they really are sort of the fourth estate.
Right, absolutely. More than sort of. Okay, our next caller is Ro. Hey, Ro, how are you?
Good. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome. What do you think about this situation?
Well, I just wanted to know, I hadn't heard anything about Dawn Stensland as to whether or not she was aware of any of her husband's doings, and if she was, what, if anything, could happen to her?
Does anyone have any insight on that?
She may be of the last to know.
She would probably allege some sort of marital privilege because they're a married couple, and she wouldn't have any obligation to testify against her husband. So.
Well, we are going to assume that she knew nothing about this, so
and
give her the benefit of the doubt. Ro, thanks very much. If you'd like to tell us what you think, go ahead and give us a call. But remember, you can email us or you can take our web poll. Or if you are out on the streets of the CN8 viewing region, you might very well run into our very own Kevin Walsh, which is what he was doing today. He's at our news desk with some response. Kevin, were people absolutely shocked? Or is it kind of getting to be old hat at this point?
It depends who you ask to, Lynn. The question we asked of them, if the allegations of email snooping against Larry Mendte are true, what motivation would he have? Again, nobody knows for sure. Only he knows, but attorneys have offered their thoughts, and now some folks in Larry's hometown of Philadelphia do the same.
Power, jealousy, try to ruin someone who you thought was going to take over his spot, probably.
Maybe jealousy, or just wanting to know information that maybe she's privy to and that he wasn't, perhaps.
Must have been insecure in his job. He felt threatened. Only thing I can think of. Other than that, I really couldn't think of any reason why he would want to do that.
I have no idea. I don't know if it was jealousy or I have no idea. He was obsessed with her. I'm not exactly sure.
It's a tough question to answer, but that's just a sample of some people trying to do their best with a difficult question, a loaded question, Lynn.
Certainly is. All right, we're going to get some more reaction in just a minute. If you'd like to be part of it, we'd like to hear from you. Tim O'Brien is in charge of branding people, and the problem now, Tim, as I see it with Larry Mendte, is that he has to completely reinvent himself if he's ever going to get out from under this scandal, if in fact he can. Do you think he has a future in the news business?
I think he's undermined his credibility substantially. You know, there's certain things that people don't like when they, you know, are watching their news anchors or their entertainers and people who are public officials. You know, they don't like snoops, they don't like rats, they don't like weirdness. And really what he did was, he was a sneak. And I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying the behavior was just sneaky. And, you know, it's real smarmy. It's very hard to overcome that kind of a label. The second thing that Larry has a real problem with is, it's kind of like Michael Richards. He doesn't have a platform that gives him the opportunity to rehabilitate himself. Let's say somebody more prominently who just, no matter how much we'd want to push them out of the stage, they would be back in the forefront. See, they have an opportunity to consistently engage in intentional behavior to try to rehabilitate their image in people's minds. And, you know, Americans are pretty darn forgiving. The problem with Larry is he's going to be pushed to the side, and I don't think anybody's going to give him that platform. The real sad thing is, like, he's done a lot of work for charity and things like that, and that's the real loser in this situation.
It certainly is. And Danny, I guess the concern is what Kevin just addressed and the people addressed is they want to know why. If he could come up with a plausible explanation, I can't imagine what it might be that would be satisfactory to viewers, but if he could somehow not justify but explain his actions, would that help?
Would it help in the court of public opinion? Maybe. I don't know. But I think it's one of two things. It's either blind jealousy or curiosity. I mean, who knows? The facts are, and if you read the information, which for the viewers is like an indictment, the numbers of times when you see the sheer number of incidents of access of her email, it's just shocking.
530 plus in a 5-month window, and officials seem to think that there was a lot more going on, perhaps thousands before that, but they weren't able to digitally trace it. I have to take a break. This half hour is going by so incredibly fast, but if you're on the line, please be patient. If you want to join in, go ahead and give us a call, email us, or take our web poll. We're at cna.tv.